Still pretty good preparation for the Champions Trophy. A lot of players have said that. In what ways do T20 cricket exactly equip you for the challenges of 50-over cricket as well, right?
I don't think you can have too much similarity in both formats, but I think from getting some game time from that point of view, I think it helps a lot of people to stay in the zone of being match ready, to say the least. It's different for different people. Some people cannot connect the two formats at all. Some people take bits and pieces and put it into place in all three formats. So, as I said, just being match fit, just having the rhythm of bowling, the flow of batting, just the mental setup of scoring runs, of being in tough situations, is something that you can carry forward to all the formats. And IPL, being a high competitive tournament, allows you to be in that zone. Play against the world-class players from all the teams, and so I think it could be the most competitive sort of games that you could be a part of before something like Champions Trophy.
Virat, one of the challenges of defending a title, India has not defended the world title at all. So as defending champions, how tough is it? What are the challenges?
I think the first challenge is not to think about the fact that we are defending the title. When we went there the last time, we just wanted to enjoy ourselves as a young unit, and then we ended up winning the tournament, and we ended up creating a team which has done so well so far. But from that team as well, there have been a few changes made, from that team as well. So right now, I think, again, our mindset is very similar, to go out there and enjoy our cricket, which we have done in the past couple of years. And in Test cricket, we have been able to reach the top with that mindset, having the hunger to win, and we want to take it across all formats. And ruthlessness is something that we definitely speak about all the time. Even if we close series off, we want to win it, without losing a game, or maybe drawing a game as well, if possible. So, yeah, we go in with that kind of mindset, and I think that goes a long way in a tournament like this. If you can think about the games in that manner, I think you'll get the results you want more often than not.
मौजूदा जो हालात देखने मिल रहे हैं इंडिया और पाकिस्तान के बीच में, चैंपियंस ट्रॉफी में भी एक मैच होना है इंडिया और पाकिस्तान के बीच में, क्या आपको लगता है टीम इंडिया को पाकिस्तान के साथ मैच खेलना चाहिए, या आपको लगता है कि खेल में जरिया बन सकता है रिश्ते सुधार के लिए, तनाव बन सकता है?
आपको क्या लगता है?
मैं आपका राय जानना चाहता हूँ, इसका ज़्यादा मैं
नहीं, आप तो अपनी राय बना के आए, मुझे लग रहा है.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Title difference aside, when it comes to Champions Trophy, does the team put it in as high scale as the World Cup? How do you approach a tournament?
I think because the tournament is much shorter and you got the top 8 teams in the world, I think the competitiveness of the tournament is much higher from the word go. In a World Cup, you can still have league games and you have yourself to, get into the World Cup and then maybe dominate in the later half. But in Champions Trophy, you need to be on top of your game from game one. If you're not, then your chances go down pretty soon. So I think that's the biggest challenge in Champions Trophy, and something that all the players love playing for sure, because it's so competitive and all the fans love watching it. It's an ICC event, so it's going to get a lot of eyeballs. But in general, for the players, that's the feedback we get. That we have to be on top of our game no matter what, from ball one of the first game.
Thank you, sir. Virat, अभी की युवराज भी हैं, धोनी भी हैं, काफी एक्सपीरियंस है इनको. पाकिस्तान के साथ मैच होना है, इसके अलावा कुछ मैच नहीं है. इन दो प्लेयर्स कैसे उनको यूज करना है पूरे टूर्नामेंट में, खासतौर पे पाकिस्तान की टीम में, आपके लिए चैलेंज रहेगा या आप किस तरीके से देखेंगे?
देखिए, वो जिस तरीके के प्लेयर्स हैं दोनों, उनको आई डोंट थिंक कि मैं किसी तरीके से यूज कर सकता हूँ. उनके पास इतना एक्सपीरियंस है कि अगर उनको फ्रीडम दिया जाए कि आप अपनी गेम खेलें मिडिल ऑर्डर में, तो आई एम श्योर कि उनको टीम में सबसे ज्यादा पता है ऑब्वियसली कि कैसे मैच बिल्ड करना है, कैसे जिताना है, या डिफिकल्ट सिचुएशन से कैसे निकालना है. तो जो अच्छी बात देखने को मिली लास्ट सीरीज में भी, कि दोनों खुल के खेल रहे थे और एंजॉय कर रहे थे एक दूसरे के साथ बैटिंग करना, जो पहले उन्होंने किया है विदाउट हैविंग दैट बर्डन इनिशियली. तो वो चीज़ बहुत अच्छी लगी एक देख के, कि जब आपके इतने बड़े प्लेयर दोनों ऐसे खुले माइंडसेट से खेल रहे हो, तो टीम का कॉन्फिडेंस एक अलग हो जाता है. जो आपके ऊपर के प्लेयर्स हैं वो भी मोर कॉन्फिडेंट खेलते हैं, और आई थिंक ओवरऑल वो टीम के लिए बहुत अच्छा था. टीम एनवायरनमेंट भी चेंज रूम में उससे बहुत ज़्यादा बूस्ट हुआ, क्योंकि ऐसे दो प्लेयर अगर अच्छे माइंडसेट में हो तो टीम का आउटलुक ही अलग हो जाता है. तो आई थिंक वो हमारे सबसे स्ट्रॉन्गेस्ट दो पिलर मैं मानूंगा टीम में, और वो जितने अच्छे माइंडसेट में रहेंगे टीम को उतना ही बेनिफिट होगा. Do you have a mic? Sorry. Yeah, just 1 minute. Sorry.
Yeah, looking at the format and the conditions, what is it from the last campaign would you like to maintain in this format, like in this?
See, the last Champions Trophy, the two things that I felt were takeaways for us was the opening partnership. The revelation of Rohit and Shikhar as an opening opening pair was something that, it was a very great thing to see for all Indian fans and for the Indian cricket team as well. So I think that was a massive factor in us winning the Champions Trophy. Plus, Ash and Jadeja were on top of their game anyway. But the way the fast bowlers bowled and the way we fielded, I think we were the best fielding side in the tournament back then. So these three things we identified back then as well. So we would like to stick to the same strengths, and we believe that these are the three factors which really determine how you play in conditions such as England, and how far you can go in a tournament like Champions Trophy. So I felt these three were our strongest factors in the last championship.
Thank you, sir.
Not really. I mean, for me, it's. I feel that you improve as a cricketer every series that you play. Sometimes not in our own heads, but the atmosphere around us is built in a way that becomes like a life or death kind of series, and especially for subcontinent cricketers, which I don't understand why. If players don't do well in India and they go back, there's no real hype around it. But if we don't do well away from India, it's it's like a knife hanging on your neck. So. I don't believe in those things. I would never play for redemption. My only motivation is to keep winning games for my country, and it doesn't matter the conditions I'm playing at. It might be, in subcontinent, it might be England, Australia, South Africa. The aim always is to win games, and I'm willing to do whatever I can in my abilities to be able to achieve that for the team. So people might look at it as, redemption opportunity or stuff like that, but in my head, I don't think of those things at all. For me, it's a game of cricket played anywhere in the world.
Thank you, sir.
Virat, this is Dhoni.
Sir, last time IPL happened, and you didn't do this. We talked about how frustrated you got on the field this time, but you learned from the station. You got trying to keep the team. This time, this IPL all have such a high performance. Is there any issue or things that you just sort of forget it? Personally, as a captain, what do you really कुछ है क्या?
Yeah, I mean, after the kind of season we've had, when you have a tournament like that, it teaches you it teaches you about yourself as a person at a few levels. So I think from the mindset point of view, it made me realize that you can't possibly do everything in every game, and sometimes people might start looking at you like that, but as a human being, you need to understand your limitations as well sometimes, and you need to take a backward step. Sometimes, it was so bizarre. Everything we tried was just going against us. I've never experienced that in a side. All not 11, all 15 guys in the squad was in the same mindset. I've never seen that happen. So it was quite bizarre. Maybe it was to teach me that you need to balance things out and take a backward step in how much you can do on the field, in how much intensity you can play with. Maybe choose your phases. And as I keep getting older, I think those things need to be a learning as well, because you don't want to burn out too quickly as well. So yeah, those were the biggest learnings for me. I was pretty fortunate that I got to experience that kind of a time, and it teaches you a lot as a captain. It teaches you a lot composure wise, and you take away a lot from failures, and that's something that I've always cherished.
Last one, Virat,
From the outside, this Indo-Pakistan game is always looked upon as a mother of all battles. Inevitably, there's always something that goes around diplomatically on the border across. So, do the players keep that tension away when you take the field, or how do you approach it? How is the team approaching it right now?
See, with all due respect, I mean, whatever else is going on, around an issue, you can't even think of, as a cricketer, you can't even think of your partner at the non-striker's end when you're facing a ball. So forget thinking about, things that are not in any way in your control. For us as cricketers, it's about playing the game that we love. That feeling never changes. Yes, India-Pakistan game is always, exciting game for all the fans watching, and people in general. The atmosphere in the stadium is different. It's different from any other game. But for us as cricketers, as I mentioned, and you can ask anyone from either of the teams, that it's just a game of cricket. The hype created around it is not in our control. We prepare the same way for every game. The atmosphere around the ground is different, yes, but in our heads, nothing really changes. Whether you're playing Pakistan, Australia, England, South Africa, New Zealand, it's exactly the same for us. नहीं सर, कोई बात करने की ज़रूरत नहीं. ऐसा नहीं कि हम पहली बार मैच खेल रहे हैं उनसे, तो हर बार यही सवाल आता है और हर बार यही जवाब होता है कि ऐसा कुछ अलग स्पेशल नहीं प्लान किया जाता है और ऐसे कोई अलग स्ट्रैटेजीज नहीं बनाई जाती हैं और कुछ अलग मोटिवेशन देने की ज़रूरत ही नहीं है. क्योंकि अगर आप इंडिया के लिए खेल रहे हैं तो आई डोंट थिंक कि एक टीम के अगेंस्ट आपको ज़्यादा मोटिवेटेड होने की ज़रूरत है. येस, यू नीड टू हैव पैशन, बट यू कांट बी टू इमोशनल अगेंस्ट वन साइड. So I feel that you have to play with the same kind of passion regardless of who you're playing against.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you.